Okay, so the Sharks snapped their 4-game losing streak and beat the Los Angeles Kings by the final score of 2-1. Good game from them. Martin Jones, our goalie, looked really, really good. And there's obviously been like a lot of uncertainty about around our goalie situation. You have Dubnyk, who's kind of inconsistent. You have Jones, who's inconsistent. But he played the best game of the season. He ended up with 41 saves, only one allowed goal. So yeah, just a really good game. The Sharks definitely were a lot more aggressive than usual, and like I said, snapped their 4-game losing streak, so that feels good. And it's always nice to beat an LA team, beat LA, right? Kings, nice beating them too. Division rival, obviously, because we play these guys a lot. So yeah, the first goal, the Sharks opened up scoring in the first. It was about 9 minutes into the game. Couture scored his 14th goal of 2021. He's having a great season. Pretty cool goal. I mean, it went in, almost looked like a deflection, but he was credited for the goal. It was assisted by Labanc, and like I said, there was 11 minutes left in the first. Problem with the Sharks this game, and this followed the goal and was kind of a key theme throughout the game, is they lacked discipline. There were 3 Kings power plays in that first period, so definitely something they got to work on. Knyzhov had some penalty minutes, which was kind of frustrating, and there were some other ones too. But yeah, so there would be no more goals in the first. It would be 1-0 in intermission. However, pretty far into about 17 and a half minutes into the second, off the face-off, Matt Roy scored for the LA Kings to tie it up at 1-1. It was off a face-off. It happened really quickly. Actually a day after his 3-year contract signing, with 2.5 minutes left in the period. It was his first goal of the year, actually. So he got his first, and it was assisted by Kopitar and Carter, and that made it 1-1. And there would actually be no more goals in the second, so a pretty low-scoring affair. And then we went to intermission again. Nothing else really happened. Sharks did play aggressive though, which probably caused those penalty minutes as well. And in the third, the eventual game winner goal by Ryan Donato occurred. It was a really awesome goal. It was something we don't really see too often. A wraparound goal by Donato. He found the 5-hole. Really good, puck placement and handling. He wrapped around, like I said, put it in. And it was his 5th goal of the year. And it was assisted by John Leonard and Knyzhov. And it was right after Knyzhov came out of the penalty box. Obviously, he had some penalty minutes. But yeah, Donato's 5th goal of the year. He's been playing really good lately. He had a goal a couple nights ago. So really nice to see that from him. So that was really it. I mean, besides Martin, and at the end of the game, the end of the third, obviously the LA Kings had that extra attacker out there because they pulled their goalie. And it looked like they were going to score on multiple chances. And I really got to give credit to Jones. Best game of the year. He had, 41 saves, like I said, 42 attempts, 9.76 save percentage. I really hope he goes back to the Jones we all, know and loved from back in, a couple years ago. But yeah, really good one to see out there from him. Donato had a really nice goal. Like I said, Couture continued to perform really well. So I'm glad, he's doing well. We, despite not really being a playoff team, we have to be, aggressive still. So really good play out there for the Sharks. I kind of have a couple takeaways. Here's my takeaways. 1, Jones, he should be playing, I think, more than Dubnyk. I think that's definitely something we should see because they're right now kind of getting back and forth games. This is his best game all year. I think he really saved us from going into overtime. And yeah, that's my first takeaway. My second is we got to limit the turnovers because the Kings almost made this an overtime game. At the end of the game, they almost put it in, and that was due to many Sharks turnovers. Next takeaway, too many penalties. We got to limit that. I mean, the Kings we were fortunate their power play wasn't that great, but we got to limit our penalties. Guys like, Knyzhov, Labanc, they're usually the guys getting penalty minutes. And my final takeaway, not really a takeaway, but great way to end a 4-game losing streak because that obviously hurts the morale of the team, losing 4 in a row. But it's good to beat a rival like this, especially with a really good goaltender in net tonight for obviously Jones played really good, so that's good. And yeah, we'll play the Kings again. So let me know your guys' thoughts, and go Sharks.